following KBLA Talk 1580 on all of our socials, then you're missing out.
Believe it.
Download our app and find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and on the web at KBLA 1580.
That's right.
Again, you can find all of our socials at KBLA 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
By the way, if you miss any of our weekday shows in real time, you can always catch up by checking out the podcast of your favorite shows at your leisure. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
Follow the leader in the leader.
Oh my God.
Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader.
You ready?
Come on. It's the queen of royal badness.
It's time for the Raw Report with Robin Ayers.
Highlighting people and things you should know about.
Robin's got you covered. Follow Robin at Robin Ayers. You're listening to the Raw Report on KBLA Talk 1580.
Robin's got a lot to talk about.
Inside the Raw Report on KBLA Talk 1580, where we bring you the latest in entertainment news, trending topics, and interviews. I'm your host, Robin Ayers, with you Monday through Friday, 6 to 7 p.m. on that drive home or already at home or wherever you are. I hope that you are enjoying your day. Happy Monday to you. Oh, we are off to a great start. As you already know, there are so many things that happen over the weekend, which is why Monday is actually one of my favorite days. I can't lie about that. It's one of my favorite days because I've been paying attention so that you don't have to. You can be out enjoying your weekend and I'll be getting all the information of what's happening inside the entertainment industry, of course. That song right there, Angie Stone. Here's the thing about it. I didn't know that you would play that Angie Stone song. Why wouldn't you play Brown Brother, Black Brother? Like,
it's not appropriate tonight.
Okay.
Trust me, that was the first song I thought about. I was like, I don't know about today right now.
Okay. The reason that well, first of all, happy birthday to Angie Stone. We love Angie Stone. She is, we love her so much, her music. And I still say play that song. But you know what? And Andy says, you know what? It's not appropriate for tonight. And he's saying that because we have many things to talk about when it comes to black men. I'm assuming this is what is correct, Andy. We're talking about. Come on now. Turn that up. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Turn it up, Andy. There we go. That's the way to celebrate Angie Stone right there. Happy birthday to Angie Stone. And shout out to all the black brothers out there. Yeah. All right. Let's settle down. Okay. We do have a great show for you lined up. As you already know, that's how we get down on the Raw Report. But we have a few updates that I want to get to you all. Now, here is some good news in Diddy's life. You know, for so long now, for several weeks, we've not been celebrating anything pertaining to Sean Diddy Combs. But this is really good news. His daughter, Chance Combs, she is off to NYU. She was admitted into NYU, which is a huge thing for her. So she's going off to New York. Congratulations to her. I think that is a beautiful thing and probably something that the entire family will be able to celebrate because it's not been so good for them lately. Fantasia is calling out Airbnb. Now she's saying this is not the first time I've heard that in terms of when people go and they rent homes. You may have rented a home, an Airbnb at some point, but she's claiming she was racially profiled and that she was kicked out of the rental because she was throwing her son a birthday party. But she says, I'm no different than what else has happened over here in this particular home. It's a big house, and they have game rooms. They have all kinds of things that lead you to believe they actually throw parties. And she was probably paramount to everything else, she says, no one said that we couldn't throw a party. So anyway, she's calling them out, and we will see what happens with that. Because, Airbnb or any organization, when they have a big public person, big celebrity come out and call out their company, they usually make it public and they'll say something back. So we'll see how that goes. But our prayers and our thoughts are with NBA legend Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I don't know if you heard over the weekend, he fell at a concert and broke his hip. That sounds painful. But he is just 24 hours later, he's getting surgery. So that's great for him. I have nothing but faith, okay, that he is going to be just fine. He's going to get this surgery and he will be all right. So sending a major shout out to our NBA legend, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And LAPD is finally investigating. So I was wondering, Michael B. Jordan, he had that Ferrari crash. I reported on this last week or so. And it seems as though LAPD showed up and that they kind of like let him go. They didn't perform any sort of test on him to find that he says that he was not under the influence or anything like that, but they sort of let him go. But now a video has surfaced. Now this is what you got to be careful what you do, especially when you floss in big brand cars and you floss in who you are. Well, he's in a Ferrari. He's next to a Ferrari, and they allegedly begin to race on a regular street in Hollywood. Not a great idea. Well, Michael B. Jordan lost control of his car, and he hit another parked car. So they are investigating that. So we'll see what happens with that. Before we get into the Raw Report, my question of the day is, Chad Ochocinco said back in the day, he used to have ankle injuries and foot injuries, and he used to soak his foot in urine. That is disgusting, but I want to know. I would like to know from you, the Raw Squad. Are you soaking your foot in urine? Listen, if say that your ancestors, your grandparents, your great-great-grand said, no, that's legit. That actually helps. Are you down to soak your injured foot in urine? All right. I'll ask you that in the poll. Hey, but Andy, let's go ahead and get into the Raw Report.
Now it's time for a breakdown.
Well, he's been found guilty. As you all know, we reported on that. That was a big story. Jonathan Majors, he's been found guilty now of assault and harassment as well. This story is tricky. It's murky. It's funny style. We're going to talk about it. We'll break it all down on the other side. I actually have two really great contributors with us today who are calling in on the phone, so I'm excited to break this down. We're also talking about actor and executive producer, author, singer Christian Keys. He is revealing that since 2005, he's got recordings of a major public figure who has allegedly been sexually harassing him and attempted sexually assaulting him, a majority several times. Since 2005. Now, he has not given us the name of said person, but he says that is on the way. He said he has recordings. He has all his proof. He's got the receipts. And people are speculating who it is. I won't mention any names, but I will tell you what Christian Keys has given us and what this could possibly mean. He mentioned Cassie and the fact that she has outed Diddy. Other women are coming forward and they are filing lawsuits against their predators, their alleged predators, and Christian Keys has now felt empowered to do the same thing. So we'll break that down and see if we can maybe even figure out who this person is and what happens after that. But we're going to do all of that on the other side. You are inside the Raw Report on KBLA Talk 1580. Stay right there.
You're inside the Raw Report with Robin Ayers on KBLA Talk 1580. Environmental justice, pollution, and climate. In Los Angeles and across America, people of color are suffering and dying from disproportionate health impacts on a planet that has less than 10 years to prevent irreversible damage. Heat illnesses, respiratory illnesses, water-related illnesses, food system impacts, insect-related diseases, black maternal health, and mental health effects. As the impacts of climate change mount, millions of vulnerable people, our people, are going to bear the brunt of these extreme environmental events, which will likely lead to forced displacement, loss of cultural identity, and other related risks. These realities are as real as rain. Stay tuned to KBLA Talk 1580 for more details about the most progressive multimedia and live events campaign any black media outlet has ever undertaken to combat the climate catastrophe. Experts, events, empowerment. It's all on the way from unapologetically progressive KBLA Talk 1580. We don't black down. We level up.
Level up, 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 level up.
Meet LA's most affordable health plan. This open enrollment season, LA Care Covered is proud to offer the lowest cost health plans in Los Angeles County, featuring zero cost preventive services to help you achieve your wellness goals. Be part of the region's largest HMO network, featuring UCLA Health, Optum, and allied physicians without breaking the bank. We are here to help. Call us at 855-222-4239 for enrollment assistance. That's 855-222-4239. LA Care Covered. Your wellness, our mission.
Dell's holiday event is one of their biggest sales of the year. Shop limited time deals on laptops like the stylish, innovative XPS 13, engineered to do it all on the Intel Evo platform. Plus, save big on ultra-sharp monitors and top brand accessories. It's the perfect time to upgrade any home, business, or gaming setup powered by Intel Core processors. Shop now at Dell.com/deals to take advantage of huge savings and free shipping on everything. Again, that's Dell.com/deals.
I was crossing the street when I met the love of my life. I chased after her. Nothing would stand in my way. Not the dog walker, nor the hot dog vendor. Finally reaching her, I asked, "What do you call that amazing smell?"
It's Gain Flings.
Gain Flings. My love had a name, but more importantly, it had a scent.
Fall in love with Gain Flings. Seriously good scent. Gain Flings with 50% more freshness ingredients versus leading bargain detergents.
Giving you your daily dose of entertainment and celebrity news.
You're inside the Rob
Report with Robin Ayers on KBLA Talk 1580.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and jump right into this. Listen, again, it's always a great show, and if you want to call in on today's show with a question or a piece of an opinion, a piece of advice, anything like that, feel free to do that by calling 1-800-920-1580. You can also use our open app, our open mic feature that's on our app. It's pretty cool. I'm always listening to them, so whether you think I do or don't, I hear your voices, I hear your messages. Keep them coming, and you never know. If it applies, we'll play it on the show as well. But let's go ahead and introduce. He doesn't need an introduction. This man, he's family to the Raw Report now. You can catch him on the Chris Gunther Show. This is Chris Gunther. How are you today, Chris?
Yo, what's going on, Robin? I appreciate that wonderful intro, man. It's always great to chop it up with you, and I love the show. Love what you guys are doing, man. And before we get started, I just want to share this real quick if I can. Earlier this year, some crazy stuff happened in the middle of the year. I seen your post, reached out to you, and I'm grateful for the opportunity that you gave me since then. So before we get started, I just want to tell you thank you.
That's very, very, very nice of you, Chris. Thank you so much. And it's been a pleasure to have you on each time. You are definitely always welcome here, and you have great conversation, which is why I'm happy about today. So thank you again for calling in. Let's see if we can get your opinion on what's going on. Let's talk about Christian Keys first. I'm sure, because you are out there and you listen to all of the things that are happening within entertainment as well. Christian Keys. I'm not going to play. He had a 1 hour plus length video that he did. It was a live stream. We're not going to play the video because there's so much to the video. But what I thought I could do instead was just list out some of the things that he has said that's been going on since 2005. He begins the video by saying he's holding up a box that has like a pen recorder on there. And he's like, listen, since 2005, 2006, I've carried one of these around me. And that's because any predator who tries to be around you, they'll often take your phone because they know you can record them on your phone. So he's used any sort of decoy option. He's used keychain recorders or pens or anything like that. And he says he has years worth of recordings, audio recordings from this alleged predator. He claims that this man, it's a man, we know that he's a major figure. He calls him a deity in the entertainment business. At some point they have worked together. He calls him a billionaire. He says that basically he mentioned that this man has a documentary about him. He says that this man offered him $100,000 to strip down completely naked. He says, I don't have to touch you. I just like to watch you. I just like to see you. He claims that this particular man has several people on his payroll who he pays six figures a year to do the things that he wants him to do. And he has been trying to recruit or harass Christian Keys into that type of position. He says that he also attempted to sexually assault him on certain occasions. He also claims that this man has purchased him a car as an apology. There is a lot within this particular live stream video. People have come to their own conclusions, Chris, and I won't say any names just because Christian Keys didn't say any names. We're all, and I'm sure you've kind of put two and two together in our audience. You all are very, very smart. I'm sure you all have put two and two together on who this person could be. But if we are talking about the same person, or it doesn't matter who this person is until this information comes out. First of all, what are your thoughts on 18 years later, Christian Keys coming out with this information? Do you applaud that? Are you somewhat, maybe disappointed that he waited this long? Where do you stand with this, Chris?
Well, hearing him say this and hearing him talk about it is different because I actually interviewed him a couple weeks ago. Mm-hmm. And I actually got a chance to chop it up with him backstage briefly. Really nice guy, heart full of gold. And when I seen him talk about what happened to him or what allegedly happened to him, it really hits different because you could hear the pain in his voice and you can see it as well. And, man, for people who have gone through this, my heart breaks for them because nobody ever mentally recovers from the trauma that was put on you 18 years ago. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm still a reporter at the end of the day. I have easily tried to put two and two together, but you also, as a reporter, you got to make a couple phone calls. You got to reach out to a couple people, mm-hmm. and you have to start putting two and two together. The person who I believe that it is.
Are you saying names?
Well, let's just say.
I don't want to say any names, Chris. I'm scared to say names.
I'm not afraid to say any names, but I'm not going to do that on the Raw Report on KBLA 1580. I don't want y'all having to go through lawsuits and all that good stuff. But let's just say this. I have talked to some people about who I think that this person is, mm-hmm. and I'll be the first one to admit, hearing the people who I spoke to say this, it doesn't shock me because they've done this in the past. And what really breaks my heart is how sometimes people who are so high up and they have all of this power and they have all of, the people that are yes men to them that will say, yeah, I'll do whatever. Mm-hmm. There is no amount of money that is worth your soul. Mm. And if you got to look at yourself in the mirror every single day and say, yeah, I got this, big house. I got all these people that are looking at me and all of the notoriety. But what did you really do to get that? Mm-hmm. What did you have to go through to get that? And I'm not going to repeat what Mr. Keys has said in his video because it is very disheartening to even hear it that another human would do this to another human. Mm-hmm. But as a black man, when another man tries to do that to you, that does jack you up mentally for the longest time. It's heartbreaking. It is sad. But on the flip side, it goes back to what we have talked about in times past. Sometimes we are our own worst enemy because we do this to each other so much to the point where you'll have some people out here that will say, well, why is he waiting 18 years to say something? When somebody has been scarred for that long, there is no timetable for them to finally speak out on something, because we all know somebody who has done some effed up stuff, and they might have been, they might be very afraid to comment on it right then and there. Sometimes they don't want to, tarnish that person's reputation. At the end of the day, right is right, wrong is wrong. God don't like ugly. Whoever this individual is, who I have a very good idea of who it is, let's just say what goes around will come around. And if you don't pay for it now, you will pay for it later.
Yeah, it is disheartening. This particular person, whom we believe it to be, this information, according to Christian Keys, is about to come out. It is about to be heard. These these audio recordings are about to be heard. He is getting ready to go to the police. He says that he's been talking with his attorneys. It's about to happen. Now, the question is, we're not going to say names, but let's just think of some major public figure who is in the business, who everyone seems to look up to and say, wow, this person has done it. He has defied the odds, right? This person has done it. So I'm trying to paint this picture for the audience. Think of that person who is very wealthy, who's very well connected and has done very well for himself over these 18 to 20 years. What happens to a person like that? Because according to Christian Keys, he says, listen, when this does come out, he's already setting himself up. He says, you guys are going to turn against me. Y'all are going to protect him. And the reason why I'm like tripping out is he's right. Christian Keys is right. This is what we have a tendency to do. We have a tendency to protect predators, to protect people who have allegedly done something wrong when they're found, even before they're found guilty. Even after they've been convicted, we have a tendency to try to protect them. So he's right about it. But now that this said person has reached the pinnacle, we believe has reached the pinnacle of their success, what happens to a person like this after this type of information hits the public?
We live in a time where cancel culture is very relevant. But we also live in a time where people are not just going to sit around and keep getting crapped on thinking that it's okay. Now, unfortunately, money does play a huge factor in this.
Yep.
Because the reality of it is, let's say, for example, and let me put this disclaimer out there. I have not spoke to Christian Keys. I have not spoke to his camp. I have not been in contact with them once it came out, because I still have this thing called a heart. I don't want to talk to people that's going through it at the moment. Yeah, I'm a reporter, but I'm a human being at the end of the day first. So I just want to put that disclaimer out there. Having said all that, though, one would make the argument, well, why is he waiting now to talk about this if there's no money involved, if he's not looking for a big payday? Because once you reach that certain pinnacle of success on something, people are going to try and say, well, we got to be careful because all these people are going to start coming out and trying to get a quick dollar off of us. But the reality of it is, when somebody has actual proof that you've done something, when somebody says they have things that date back to 2005 about this individual, you have to really listen to them, because, this is one of the things I've always been taught. If it looked like a duck and quacked like a duck, then it's a duck. If somebody is literally telling you, I have evidence about what this person has done since 2005 till now, and now they have reached the pinnacle, yeah, that person might be a billionaire, they might have people on payroll, etc. But if they did something to get there, and if you had to allegedly do this to another human being to get there, that says a lot about you, especially if it's who it is who I think it is. And let me be the first one to say, I'm sorry, but let me be the first one to say, if this is who I think it is, I've talked to a few people that have told me that he's tried that with a few of them. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Okay. Andy?
You know what? I'm going to keep it short and sweet. It must be a spiritual revolution going on, because the chickens are coming home to roost.
Okay. Short and sweet. Listen, before I let you get out of here, Chris, there are things that he says has encouraged him. He said at this point it's eating away at him. He says that it's in his bones, it's in his bone marrow that he has to say something. And I get that. I understand the reason he waited so long. He said when you're going up against someone like this who's a billionaire, and I have a few $1,000s in my pocket at that time, he's talking about years ago, then, you are afraid to, kind of come up against someone. But what I have hope in is that whatever happens with this particular figure, I'm not sure that it'll be enough to bring them to justice. But what I'm hoping is that more people will come out and say if that, in fact, has happened to them as well. So, because you can't deny you shouldn't be able to deny audio, but if you try to deny that and he gets around it, you can't deny when so many other people are coming out to say so, just as in the case of Diddy. I'll give you the last word because I know we got to go. Give me your 15 to 20 seconds, and also let everybody know where they can find you online, Chris.
Always a pleasure being on the Raw Report. Be sure you guys follow me on Instagram at Chris Gunther. And to answer your question directly, my prayers are with Christian. I hope that this helps him to close that chapter of his life and move on. And for whoever this person is, if all of these allegations are true, may God have mercy on your soul. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Perfectly stated on that. We appreciate you so much, Chris, and I'm looking forward to chatting with you again very, very soon.
Peace and love, Queen. Appreciate you.
Appreciate you as well. Enjoy your night. Well, we are not done. I'm going to read some of these comments. I'm looking. I haven't been able to read them, but I'm looking. We'll address that. We will absolutely talk about Jonathan Majors on the other side as well. Right now, we've got news, traffic, and sports. You are listening to the Raw Report on KBLA Talk 1580. Stay there.
Hey, I'm Damian Young. I'm chilling with Robin on the Raw Report.
We wish you a holiday season filled with peace and love and a new year rich with blessings. Mask up and stay safe. From all of us at KBLA Talk 1580.
People making lists, buying special gifts.
I'm Amber Payton. Here's the latest on the Black Information Network. Singer Fantasia is alleging racial profiling was the reason she and her family were ousted from an Airbnb rental over the weekend. The Black actress and singer posted on X that the Airbnb host accused the group of having a party and making loud noises. Fantasia said she was never told she couldn't have company over and that it was evident the house was set up to host parties and gatherings. Airbnb has reached out to the singer to look into the incident. Jurors in Rudy Giuliani's defamation trial have awarded nearly $150 million to two Black Georgia election workers. Giuliani accused the workers of helping to steal the 2020 presidential election from Trump and was subsequently charged with spreading conspiracy theories about them. The workers say he destroyed their reputations and exposed them to vicious threats. That's the latest. I'm Amber Payton on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network, and BINnews.com.
Over in San Pedro, a crash only has the left lane currently open on the 110 South after Chanel Street, and watch for a 30-minute stop traffic delay from Anaheim. Over in Sherman Oaks, an accident remains on the right shoulder of the 405 North before Burbank Boulevard, and heavy traffic flow continues now from Santa Monica Boulevard over an hour and a half. Lanes have been reopened, but an accident remains on the right shoulder of Buena Park's 91 East at Beach Boulevard with heavy traffic flow over 20 minutes coming from Central. And on the Coenga Pass, be advised that the right lane is currently closed for K-rail removal on the 101 North at Barham, and it's set to reopen tomorrow morning at about 6 a.m.
Make your nights merry and bright with wild holidays. See the San Diego Zoo Safari Park in a whole new light, transformed into a dazzling winter wonderland. Select nights now through December 31st at San Diego Zoo Safari Park.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
USC's men's basketball team is 0-2 since Bronny James joined the team on December 10th. The Trojans lost by 16 at Auburn on Sunday. It was the third straight loss for the Trojans, who dropped to 5-5. LeBron's son is still on a minutes restriction. He played only 14 minutes at Auburn and finished with 5 points. LeBron did not attend Sunday's game. Bronny's mom, Savannah, was there. She's on the trip for USC's 2 games in Alabama. The Trojans play HBCU Alabama State Tuesday night in Montgomery. The final rankings are in for the top 5 HBCU football teams this season. 12-1 Florida A&M is number 1, followed by North Carolina Central, Prairie View, Alcorn State, and Howard. Florida A&M beat Howard Saturday in Atlanta in the Celebration Bowl for the Black College Football National Championship. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
Follow the leader.
KBLA Talk 1580.
Follow the leader.
If you're not following KBLA Talk 1580 on all of our socials, then you're missing out. Download our app and find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and on the web at KBLA 1580.
That's right.
Again, you can find all of our socials at KBLA 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
By the way, if you miss any of our weekday shows in real time, you can always catch up by checking out the podcast of your favorite shows at your leisure. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
Got your black. Follow the leader.
the leader.
Oh my God. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader.
Don't you wish your life came with a warning app?
Stop. That dog does not want to be petted.
A heads up before something bad happens.
You should not send that text.
Uh-oh. Life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes, you can reverse prediabetes and prevent or delay type 2 diabetes. To learn your risk, take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
Now. We tend not to think about now. We dream about tomorrow, relive yesterday. But right now in front of us is victory over cancer. Right now, cancer research funded by the V Foundation is leading to better treatments and saving lives. Victory over cancer is there for the taking by you, because today's cancer research is tomorrow's victory. Learn more at v.org.
Don't give up. Don't ever give up.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions because we've got your black. Listen up. If you're one of the more than 100,000 California tenants who were rejected or delayed when applying for COVID rental assistance, you've got a second chance. Under the terms of a new settlement, California's Housing and Community Development Department agreed to audit its past denials. The program ended in March 2022, but the advocacy groups Alliance of Californians for Community Empowerment, Policy Link, and Strategic Actions for a Just Economy sued the department. According to the coalition's analysis of state data, the department rejected nearly 30% of all applicants. Under the settlement, the department agreed to clear all renters in the pipeline within 6 months. The settlement applies to anyone who sought assistance from the state's Housing is Key program before April 1st, 2022, whose applications is pending or was denied after June 6, 2022. Tenants who have questions about the status of their application can call the hotline at 833-430-2122. That's 833-430-2122. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Keeping you informed about what's really going on.
Who's got next?
And what not to miss in entertainment. You're listening to The Rob Report on KBLA Talk 1580.
Let's get it on.
You don't give a what. You don't give a what. Get it on the floor. 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 You don't want to party, then you gotta go. You don't want to party, then you gotta go. And you can ride to this mother, bounce to this mother, freak to this mother.
Let's get it on.
You are inside the Raw Report on KBLA Talk 1580. Happy heavenly birthday to DMX, the one and only DMX. That is the jam. Now, you understood the assignment right there. No, you always understand the assignment, Andy. We appreciate you guys for coming on in here. If you're just joining us, welcome. We are talking all things with black men on this show. We just finished talking about Christian Keys, who has revealed that for years, actually 18 years or more, he has been the victim of alleged sexual harassment as well as an attempted sexual assault by this deity figure He's not said any names. We all have our own thoughts and opinions on it. But if you put two and two together, you can kind of gather what type of person we're talking about here. According to Christian Keys, he says this information is about to hit the net. All right, it's about to hit the public very, very soon. So we obviously will keep you posted on that. But right now, I told you we have two contributors today. And with us on the line is none other than Nick Hamilton from Nightcast Media. Hello to you, Nick Hamilton.
Hello. What's going on, y'all? How y'all doing?
We are doing very well. Thank you so much. We appreciate you calling in as well. And listen, I want to give you an opportunity. I'm sure you've heard and you've seen by now. You can give us your own thoughts before we move on to this Jonathan Majors news. Did you have any thoughts about what Christian Keys is talking about? Now, we haven't dropped any names, Nick. All right, we ain't said no names. I know you probably even know who we're talking to, who this person is that he's talking about. But any thoughts on that?
Deductive reasoning is a wonder. I'm so happy I was raised in a public school system that taught us critical and logical thinking before they shut it all down. But anyway, having said that, first and foremost, all jokes aside, I mean, my heart definitely goes out to Christian Keys. He's a good brother.
Yeah.
Had an opportunity a couple of times to interview with him and really, speak with him even off camera.
Yeah.
I caught word that this was going to come down a couple of days before, but I couldn't say anything because of the nature of the information that was being disseminated to me. So I couldn't say anything, but I wasn't surprised when he finally came out. I mean, and the brother showed an incredible amount of courage, a lot of strength, because as a man, especially a black man, in this society, vulnerability is not number one on the list. And so for him to not only put himself out there, but maybe create opportunities for other men that may have gone through something similar as what he's gone through, to have the courage enough to speak out. I commend him for that. So I got my popcorn and my body armor ready. I mean, for the names to be dropped, because I'm looking forward to that.
I think we all are. And it's not that I'm looking forward to it I'm not trying to be entertaining about this, and I know you aren't either. What I'm looking for, this is actually what Marcus Atkins says. He says the chickens are coming home to roost, just like Andy was mentioning, and that is what it is. I want justice for all, and I want these figures to be held accountable. And what they say a lot of the times, what I hear a lot of it, they're saying you guys are bringing down black men, and when I say you guys, they're ultimately talking about media and how media portrays people. But at the end of the day, when people are convicted or receipts are shown or whatever, we're talking about pure facts, right? Or truths. We'll say that we're talking about people's truths. And here's the deal: even if you feel like these black men are being taken down, I hate that too. I hate the what that perception is when we get these successful black men doing well, but then they have to be brought down. But they're only doing that. They're only being brought down from a place that what they've done to themselves. So
right.
Yeah, that's what I have to say about that.
I mean,
you were going to say?
I've seen it. Yeah, I mean, I've seen it happen. I mean, I was in the modeling industry for like 5 or 6 years, and when you're a model and you're signed to some of these agencies, you see a lot of stuff. And I've had a couple of experiences. Nothing like Christian Keys. I'm not, trying to compare, but I handled mine. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
I didn't let it go far.
Before we move on, I do want to talk about Jonathan Majors and your thoughts on this entire case. Just like you, Nick, I have been in and around this industry for years. As a teenager, I was around so many different celebrities. I don't know why my life looked that way. All of my friends, they were in the business. I just knew so many people, actors, rappers, and singers, and it was just all around me before I even stepped foot into this industry. So I've been around it for a long time. With that being said, I too know what this industry will do to you. And if you choose to sell your soul, if you choose to sell your body, can you advance? Sure, but can you look yourself in the mirror at night? Can you sleep with yourself at night? And so as Christian Keys was talking about, he was like, look, I've taken the scenic route. That's what I'm talking about. Take the scenic route. For anybody who thinks that, you can get a leg up, you can, advance faster. It is just not worth it. And it's so unfortunate that all these powerful people have taken advantage of people who want to get into the industry. Someone said in here that couch casting is a real thing. It is a real thing.
Yeah.
It is a real thing. If you want to be a
Yeah.
singer, they're like, okay, well, show me something, do something. These producers, that's just how it is. And it's so unfortunate, but I just really want to encourage anybody who finds themselves wanting to get into this industry, anywhere in this industry or any industry, by the way, because that happens all over. But if you are, if someone is trying to offer you something in order to do something that you don't feel comfortable with, I just certainly want to encourage you to take the scenic route. Take the scenic route. It'll be much better up there. You'll be able to breathe the air much better. Okay, let's move on. We talked about Jonathan Majors all throughout this case. Recently, we had another conversation about this video that had surfaced of the night that this whole thing had taken place between him and his ex-girlfriend. We now know that he has been found guilty on a couple of different accounts. And one is he's been found guilty of assault in the 3rd degree and harassment in the 2nd degree. And before we move on and I give you the mic, Nick, I have to, because I'm a person who likes to research, and I'm also a person who likes to understand what we're talking about here. So I had to look up, what does that mean? Harassment in the 2nd degree means a pattern of intentional, substantial, and unreasonable intrusion into the private life of a targeted person that serves no legitimate purpose and causes the person and would cause a reasonable person in his position to suffer mental or emotional distress. That takes care of harassment. He is also, he has been found guilty of assault in the 3rd degree. And it says assault doesn't usually have those elements, but contains language such as any unwanted physical contact or physical contact in an angry or threatening manner. That is what they're talking about this particular night, that he was found guilty of assault in the 3rd degree, which means that he had some sort of physical contact with her or in an angry manner. Give me your thoughts on this whole entire thing. Is it fair that what we've seen, does it add up, or is it kind of like, listen, we weren't in that courtroom, we don't know all the details? Give me your thoughts on this.
I mean, it's unfortunate when you just look at the case in its entirety, right? You see one man's career is pretty much sliding down the mountain like a mudslide on a rain season, and then you got somebody who claims that they were, emotionally and verbally assaulted. Mm-hmm. I think when you look at the overall thing, like, both of them need help, right? Mm-hmm. Like, both of them are toxic for one another. And mm-hmm. I don't think she could handle his celebrity. Sometimes you get with people and you hear what they're saying, you hear their big dreams and aspirations and desires, but you may not 100% believe it. You may not 85% believe it. You could go along with it because you don't want to be a dream killer, and you do hope that they make it, but you don't realize to the lengths that they're willing to go to make it. Mm. And once they do reach that epitome of what they claim making it, because Jonathan Majors seemed like he just came on the scene. I know he's been acting for quite many years, mm-hmm. but I'm saying it just seems like he jumped on the scene and he was the hottest thing going, because he was, outside of Michael B. Jordan. Sure. He was the hottest thing smoking.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You saw him in Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. You saw he had Magazine Dreams that was supposed to come out, because I remember viewing that last year at Sundance, or earlier this year, I should say, at Sundance. And then he was in, obviously, Creed 3, which was also a blockbuster. And so he was working on the Kang Dynasty. That was the next Avengers movie that was coming out with him that was going to be centered around him. Now that's in jeopardy, because now he's been dropped from Disney and Marvel.
Yes. Because
of these guilty verdicts. Everybody's pretty much abandoned him. WME has yet to abandon him, but that could come any day now, the way that things are going, unfortunately, for Jonathan Majors. Mm-hmm. And so you hope that this man does not do something drastic because he's in a situation where things are being taken away from him. But also you hope that he gets help. You hope that she gets help.
Yeah.
I wasn't in the room. I don't know what transpired. Based upon the reports, he was texting some chick that he got based upon his newfound fame. He had him assisted. and that girl that was with him was not very pleased with the fact that he was texting another woman, and they probably an argument ensued, and he probably was like that brother came out of him like, hey, what are you doing with my phone? You know, and you know, it was on from there. And so, you know, now it's like one decision has jeopardized a lot.
Yeah.
For us as fans, not being able to see Jonathan Majors on screen for quite some time. Us as Marvel fans, because I'm a huge Marvel nerd. Now we got to figure out: are they going to recast for the for Kang? Are they going to recast? Or are they just going to go straight to Doctor Doom?
Yeah.
We don't know. I don't even know if Marvel knows. I mean, there have been some guys that have been saying that if they do recast people like John Boyega from The Woman King, maybe Corey Hawkins, who's currently in The Color Purple, who's been in some blockbusters as well, that could possibly play Kang, and probably keep the storyline going until we were able to, till we're ready to see Doctor Doom. Scripts have to be rewritten now. This man is also facing up to a year in jail.
Yeah.
When he gets sentenced on February 6th of 2024.
Yeah.
And then what is Megan Good going through? What is she having to deal with now by being with Jonathan Majors? So there's a lot of factors that I think people really have to take into consideration.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate. It's very terrible. It's unfortunate. And this man had it all. This man had it all.
He had it all, and he was
smoking.
Yeah, he was, and his trajectory was very, very high. He was moving. I mean, he was moving through this Hollywood thing quickly. On the other side of what they say, how you grind for years, and then all of a sudden when you make it, well, he made it, and he surpassed what a lot of other people tried to do. But you are right. I mean, I love that you brought Megan Good into this because, where all these other organizations and these entities and companies and people want to separate themselves and sever ties with him, she's still right by his side. But what could that mean for her? Will people look down on her? Will she have a stain on her and in her career because she's choosing to stay with him? There's so much to see. Again, as you mentioned, February 6th is is when he's set to be sentenced, and he is facing up to a year in prison. It says that the prosecutors have not indicated what they plan to seek right now. So possible that he will walk away from this. I'm just not sure. Do you think that that's the case, or do you think he's actually going to do some time?
I would be slightly surprised if they gave him any kind of jail time. I could see them possibly giving him house arrest for a second, maybe probation for the duration of the time. But I would be surprised if Megan Good starts to shake the spot at some point because. The smoke is getting a little thick in the kitchen. Yeah. We ain't trying to inhale that. She is on a great show called Harlem, and I know she has a couple of movies
it's a great show.
Come out.
Before I let you go, because we got to cut right now, but I want to give you an opportunity to say anything that you feel like that you need the people to know regarding Jonathan Majors, regarding Christian Keys. I mean, where do you see this industry going? Do you feel like we're about to see the downfall of a lot of these black kings, as we would call them, in the industry?
I mean, you gotta stay on your toes. You gotta make sure your I's are dotted and your T's are crossed. And I mean, look at Michael B. Jordan now, that because of the accident that he sustained. Now that he's being investigated for possibly reckless driving because the video had surfaced about him, I think, apparently racing another car, a similar type of vehicle. So, I mean, when you get this money, you got to be steadfast, you got to be sound, and you got to know what you want. The thing about LeBron James, what I can respect, is that LeBron understands how valuable his brand is. He's not going to do anything or have anybody jeopardize that in no way, shape, or form.
What I will say,
how hard he's worked.
100%. What I will say regarding that is, before you get the money, you gotta solidify yourself and your integrity and your morals before you live the lifestyle, because money is only going to enhance or magnify who you already are. So that's what I have to say about that. I hope we don't. It's like I hope we don't see the downfall of anybody else, but at the same time, if they have done some things that need to be called out, then have at it. All right, Nick Hamilton, we appreciate you so much for calling the Raw Report. Let everybody know where they can find you online.
Well, thank you for having me. As always, I appreciate it. Happy holidays to you and everyone there. You can catch me on Instagram at Nick Hamilton LA, as well as on X at Nick Hamilton 213, and at nightcastmedia.com. That's nightcastmedia.com. And then youtube.com/NH Experience TV. Subscribe.
Yes, you keep doing wonderful things out there. We appreciate you, and happy holidays to you.
Thank you.
Okay, well, when we come forward, I do see a phone call that we'll take on the other side. And what not to miss, all on the Raw Report. You're listening to KBLA Talk 1580.
What's going on, y'all? It's your boy, Lil Rel Howery. Right now, you're listening to KBLA Talk 1580. That's right, the Raw Report.
More of the Raw Report with Robin Ayers when we come forward. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Hi, Maisha Cairo here, KBLA, live at Chase Bank on Crenshaw and Vernon for the In This Together tour with female business owners, a day of empowerment, community panels, and best of all, tips on building business from marketing to capital. I was able to speak with one of the panelists, the owner of Kids Love. Take a listen.
So Kids Love, KIDSLUV, is a first-to-market zero-sugar, vitamin-enhanced functional beverage for kids.
So the zero sugar is really important because if not, the sugar gets on the teeth, it can cause cavities. So as a mom, I love this vitamins and hydration in one. Tell us what's happening here with Chase Bank today.
So I would say, I think what Chase is trying to do is create a community actually for entrepreneurs, a place where people can go. They have the space to do it. It's a beautiful space. And to be able to have these conversations. There are so many benefits to being a women-owned and certified business, from a standpoint of getting into stores, not paying the slotting fees of what it takes to be in stores. So I think Chase is trying to bring awareness to a lot of the things that people just don't know about, that not only the bank can help, but outside of the bank, their relationships can help create.
That's beautiful. And I know, this is how we build equity in communities of color, is kind of spreading that information and that knowledge. So thank you for being here today and doing your part and letting these women know that it is possible.
For KBLA 1580, I'm Maisha Cairo in the community with Chase.
Is your eyesight changing?
I can't read this anymore.
Don't lose hope. People just like you are working every day using Braille, screen magnification, speech technology, and other tools and blindness skills. Your eyesight may have changed, but your goals, they don't have to. We can help. Visit us on the web at blind.org. The National Federation of the Blind. Live the life you want.
Some days I cover up because of my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis. Now I'm hitting the road with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. With Skyrizi, 3 out of 4 people achieved 90% clearer skin at 4 months. And Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist prescribed biologic in psoriasis, and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZZI to learn more.
Can't you just see the smile on her face over the radio right now? Let's get back to more of the Raw Report with Robin Ayers on KBLA Talk 1580.
Okay, I am reading some of these comments, and wow. Marcus believes that he will be doing at least maybe 6 months or so and spend the rest on probation if this is his first offense. We will see what happens. But right now, I want to get to this phone call from Fahima. Fahima, let me know. First of all, I know that you're aware of Jonathan Majors' case and what he was convicted of. Your thoughts on this? Give me what you think on this entire situation.
Well, Robin, I was in a Twitter space today with over 100 people talking about this, and I got some really interesting perspective. But first off, I agree with your contributor, Nick, that both of them, and this is my professional opinion, both of them, Jonathan Majors and Grace, they had a codependent relationship, and obviously they both have experienced some trauma in their lives. Now, what I garnered from the Twitter space I was on, people have been cherry picking a lot of stuff particularly from the text. For one, Jonathan Majors was the one that called the police. And if you read the text, which they did read in the Twitter space, she wanted to go to the hospital. She didn't want to prosecute him. He was trying to discourage her from going to the hospital, and it was the state that pursued this, not Grace. She didn't pursue this. She didn't want to press charges, and then he counter-pressed charges on her. One of the former a guy who was a retired prosecutor in California, he stated that he did not get effective representation, and it was really the wrong move to have his new girlfriend there and his girlfriend's mother and crying, and she said that he should have testified. So he felt that the way he was represented was poor. Okay. But I just think that people are cherry picking things and they're not dealing with the facts. She didn't want to press charges. I think you had read one time where she was saying that she didn't want, it was the state that had really followed through with this, and he had encouraged her not to go to the hospital.
Well, yeah, no, you're right. We have been following this case, and whatever the facts that have come out, we've revealed them on this show as well. We've talked about, but I definitely appreciate your phone call, and calling. You always call in with insight. So thank you so much, Fahima. All right. Enjoy your night. And you guys all enjoy your night, too. It has been a wonderful show. Thank you so much for your comments, for your likes, for your shares, and all of that good stuff. What I don't want you to miss real quick, though, is Dave Chappelle. Okay, we're excited about Dave Chappelle. He's coming back to Netflix with a special. Andy, no. Okay. I was clapping. I just wanted to give some love. You wasn't feeling it. Okay, all right. It's a Netflix special. It's coming out on New Year's Eve. So, we're very, very close to that. So you guys definitely don't want to miss it. I appreciate you guys so much. You already know who is on the other side, who is coming up right after me. That is Zoe Williams, the voice of reason, about to bring a fire show. You guys remember today and every day forward to be a blessing.
I'm Amber Payton. Here's the latest on the Black Information Network. Former President Donald Trump is reportedly considering holding a rally in the South Bronx in his bid to recapture the White House. The New York Post reports that when Trump was in town this past week, he spoke with New York Young Republican President Gavin Wax at the group's gala, and the two men talked about a potential rally along the Grand Concourse in a bid to court Hispanic and Black voters and flip New York City red. Federal judges are honoring the request of 9 defendants in the Feeding Our Future Meals fraud case. The accused now have the green light to travel outside of Minnesota. Several of the defendants are African immigrants, so international travel requests cite family, religion, or business abroad. So far, 16 of the 60 defendants have pleaded guilty. The first trials are set for early 2024. That's the latest. I'm Amber Payton on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network, and BINnews.com.
Drive safe and enjoy your evening. An accident's been cleared from